when you talk too much, the people that you think are closest to you sometimes sabotage you, and you don't even realize you're being sabotaged by your closest people. Stop telling your family how much you earned all the time. The people that are your beloved are secretly sabotaging you sometimes. I had to wake up to this. These are your colleagues, these are your co-workers. You go there to do a job, get paid, lose your class, do some every single pound in your bank account. You don't need to tell what goal, what dream, no. Every bit of trauma, everything that you've had from your ex-boyfriend, from your child, everyone needs to know, because that makes you vulnerable. You're talking too much to people that potentially have that as an issue. And it's quite a simple way of making around it, but I just need to be honest here with you that as someone that used to share a lot about themselves to anyone, that I really thought cared, and I felt like you could trust. I was very trusting people very easily, right? This was used to be it. And I didn't realize until probably about 3 years ago that not everyone is going to use this information that you would give them as just kindness. People actually use this against you. And I've learned this. I've learned the hard way, but it's fine because we're here now and we're here to discuss it. So I want to talk about how sometimes when you overshare, you talk too much, that this can sometimes be used as manipulation by others, and sometimes this can sabotage some of the dreams you have got going on, things in your life. And also, it oversteps your boundaries and it really does not protect the peace that you have. And I want us people here to make sure that your boundaries are in place and your peace is protected. And I honestly believe, and I've liked this, that talking less can actually help with that. So yeah, whether this is a relationship, a person you've just started dating, whether this is your family, your co-workers, your best friend, your friends, I would be very careful of just what you're sharing. Because as much as those people seem lovely in your world, not everyone will necessarily be using the things that you tell them for the best interest. Not everyone is wanting the best for you. And I just want to be very honest. So you know when and kind of gauge a little bit better of how and when to share information, because sharing too much can actually be quite dangerous. People can actually, once they have that in their hands, the knowledge is power. Once they have that, it's not always going to be easy for good. And so we just got to be careful when we're talking too much and what we're actually saying, and just be mindful of okay, I'm telling this person this information. Before I just go in and just tell them everything, let me just hold back. And so I want to talk about that. Now, I don't really talk about relationships, dating, because it's not my thing. But let's just talk about it for a quick second. Because I'm not saying that everyone is manipulative. I'm not saying that everyone is out there to get you. What I'm saying is if you feel that no one is, that's when the problem will arise. And that used to be me. I see everyone was just lovely and, what everything they say was true. And it's not that way. And so when you're sharing information, whether it will be about your past trauma, whether it be about how your ex-boyfriend treated you, whether it would be about that you don't trust people anymore, be careful. Be very careful, because if you really truly don't know this person yet, right? You don't really fully know their full intentions. Even if you feel that you know them, you don't necessarily know that you do. Now, am I saying you never open up to someone? No, I'm not encouraging that either. But I'm just saying that, if ever you're in a situation where you've been in an argument, right? And someone's brought something up, the reason why you're like is because you don't trust people. And it's wow. The reason why they're saying it's because you called them that, okay? So it can be used as like a manipulative tool, you know? Once you start being super like someone that knows all your vulnerabilities, they can use that. They can use that as fuel to manipulate and to kind of steer in the direction of things and have kind of like control over the situation. Um, and if you ever find that someone is using your vulnerability against you, just be very mindful of how much you're sharing with that person. And even if you like, you can try and sense this earlier on, that's even better, you know? And I wouldn't share too much of your vulnerability too early on to people. Just be very mindful of that, you know? And until you really feel that, you know, you feel comfortable in that. A healthy relationship is about mutual respect. And it is about being able to be open and honest. But it's not about you using someone else's vulnerability and weakness against them when they're down, when it's in a situation where they can get one up. If someone's trying to get a one up on you in an argument, and people tend to reveal themselves quite a lot in an argument when trying to win. If they use these things against you, you've got to be very careful of sharing more information like that in the future with this person. I would just be very mindful. We think our family, you know, they would never sabotage us, right? They would never do anything. I can tell my family everything. They're my blood. I can tell them anything. There's someone that's grown up with a narcissistic mother. I can tell you for sure, you cannot tell your family everything. You don't need to have grown up with a narcissistic parent. You've got to understand that people are operating from their own fear, their own emotional needs and insecurities at times. And whether they subconsciously or maybe most of the time are subconsciously unaware of the unconscious imprint of their speaking and their mind and what is coming out and what is like been submerged into their subconscious mind and the beliefs, the limiting beliefs, right, that they have. And they have pushed this onto you. For instance, you have a dream that you want to do something. You truly believe it. Before you tell your family, you're excited, you're happy, you're like, yes, I need to share what I'm going to be doing with my family. I need to tell them I've got this new business idea. I've got this new creative project going on. I've got a change in my career path that I know I'm going to be great at. You tell them, and they give you criticism, they give you doubt, they make you feel like inadequate, they make you feel that you're not good enough for this, they make you feel like this is not the path you should be taking, it's not stable, it's not this, it's not that, it's not, no, no, no. You can't. And this is one of the reasons why you gotta be very careful of sharing your potential dreams and goals with your family. And I know it's like, but they're my family. And that's very lovely. It's a very lovely idea to have, but they're my family. But they're my family will sometimes sabotage your goals. And sometimes it's best not to say things. You need to stop talking and you need to just validate yourself. And I used to do the same. I used to want my family's validation, opinion, approval. I did the same. Even with this. Oh, there's no point doing the years, no point doing it. Okay. You know, it's very disheartening where you want to do something and they just don't get it at all. You know? Not even get it, they ruin it for you. My winners' fathers, they want to actually sabotage it and ruin it and make you feel like you should never do this. Like you are not worthy of doing this. And it's a horrible feeling. It will sometimes undermine your confidence, undermine your dreams, undermine your goals. And quite frankly, I would just stop telling family sometimes your dreams, your aspirations and your goals. It's best to keep it to yourself until it's actually done. And visualize in fruition, in physical reality, you know? Because people can't see the vision. People can't see it unless it's real, unless it's tangible, They can't see it. They can't immerse themselves in it. And then when it's here, it's like, well, I knew you could do it. Well, no, you didn't know I could do it because you were the one sabotaging it. But it's okay. We don't want to become bitter. Bitter doesn't do anything. It just ages you. Bitter does not do nothing for you. So we let that go. But we just stop talking. You stop talking. Not only that, it's quite like emotionally manipulative sometimes, family. Especially if you start talking too much about your finances. Stop telling your family how much you earned all the time. It's quite frankly, it's really none of their business. And I did this. When they know how much you earn, they know how much, you just tell them everything, right? You use it against you. Or if they don't have something, they guilt trip you and you feel bad. And you feel bad. And I was someone that actually, even to this day, I'm not financially stable, really, at my age at 36, I'm not proud to say. But like, I used to feel so guilty. Like, oh, my mother doesn't have that. I must, like, I'll take out another credit card, I'll do this, I used to feel guilty, even though I didn't have it. Like, I just tried my best, but it's not my responsibility. Like, it comes to a point where it's just like, this is actually manipulative. You're emotionally manipulating me and feeling guilty. Like, I used to feel guilty for buying myself like a top or something. If you remember, I used to go like shopping with my mum. She just like, I remember one time, like, I was buying a top, and the look of like disgust of like, how dare I buy something for myself? It's just like, it should be for me. Like, but that's very, we're talking about narcissistic parents here, so they might look very different to like a normal functioning parent. But even so, if it's a normal functioning parent, it's not necessary that you need to completely tell everything about your finances to. Sometimes you need something for yourself. You've got to recognize this is your life. This is your to direct you with your path. And I'm not saying every family is like this. And thank God if you have parents that don't like guilt trip you, don't emotionally manipulate you, and things like that. It's amazing. But for those who are actually living with narcissistic parents, or you have got narcissistic family members around you, just please do not tell them how much you're earning. Please, because it's very imperative that you keep that money, even if you are living with a narcissistic parent, so you can escape that environment. But not only that, it's even if you're out of that environment, it's important that you are not kind of run down to the ground, because that's what happened to me. And I'm telling you, it takes it's it's really hard to get yourself back on your feet. I'm still struggling to this day. But we stay positive and we move on, with your friends, okay? And look, I'm glad if you've got friends that don't have an ounce of jealousy, ounce of competition, it's like ounce of any of that in them. But majority of the time, you will come across a friend that maybe they haven't voiced it, but deep down, they're in competition with you. There's a little bit of jealousy. There's a little bit of something. If you are all of a sudden achieving things that are surpassing them in their idea of success, or society's idea of success, okay? When you weren't doing anything successful, when you aren't doing anything achieving according to society, right? Let's just put it out there. They were fine. There's nothing wrong for this too. As you start making those steps towards success and achievement, whether that be monetary, maybe that be whatever you define your success as, right? Could even be having a new relationship. It could be having a new baby. It could even be getting married. It could be having a new car, a new job, anything, okay? Be careful of what you're sharing. Just be careful with your friends. Because you start sharing stuff and like, oh, I think this and that and da 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 da. And then it creeps in. Wait a minute. What, they just landed a new job. They just got a new job. And then they'll put some doubt in your mind. Go, are you sure you're capable of doing that? Doesn't it seem really hard? I mean, the last job
wasn't that like so much easier for you because like you have more time and stuff like that? I mean, I know this might have more, but you're gonna have like more stress, more this, more.
I mean, then you think, okay, they might be right. It just might come from a place of competition and jealousy. So, it's important, again, the boundaries that you set for yourself are based around you validating yourself and feeling comfortable in whatever decision that you make is true for you. You don't need everyone else's opinion, everyone else's validation. Okay, it's lovely to have, but sometimes I've learned from past experience that it hasn't actually helped me in one way. The actual time that I lived doing what I love to do, like things like this, I've not listened to anyone. I've listened to myself and I just do what I want to do. I talk about what I want to talk about right now, you know? And I will no one telling me, oh, don't talk about this, no, I'm just doing what I feel. And feels good when you do what you feel is right to do. Same with if you have a relationship, you feel in your gut this is the relationship you go for it. If you feel that this is like the job for you, go for it. If you feel like you want to achieve that dream, go for it. Not everyone is going to understand your decisions. And sometimes we make poor decisions, okay. But sometimes that poor decision will then come with a little bit of pain, but then might come with progress. We might learn something from that, you know? And as much as other people might want to stop us from making a bad decision, we don't know whether that's going to be a bad decision or not. You know, sometimes we have to experience things to realize something. But what I would say is this is more to the point of just when you talk too much, some people will, the people that you think are closest to you, sometimes sabotage you, and you don't even realize you're being sabotaged by your closest people. But the people that are meant to be your champions, the people that have got your back 100%, the people that are your blood, are secretly sabotaging you sometimes. And I had to wake up to this. I really had to wake up to this. Now, I'm not saying everyone is like this, but you can protect your peace. You can protect yourself being as manipulated and sabotaged by talking less. Just talk less. You don't need to tell every person every single bit of information of every single thing. You don't need to tell them every single pound in your bank account. You don't need to tell them every single process of what's happening with your career. You don't need to tell them every thing that's going to happen, what goal, what dream. You don't need to tell them detail, every little bit. No. Every bit of trauma, everything that you've had from your ex-boyfriend, from this, from your child. Everyone needs to know. Because that makes you vulnerable. So, by talking less, that actually helps you protect your peace and protect your boundary. It does. So, be careful at the workplace as well. Sharing too much on your lunch break, on your after drinks work. Be careful. Be careful with those after drinks because they get a little bit, the alcohol down you. Next thing you know, you're sharing your whole life story. You're crying at the end of the night. People feel very differently. You've got to behave very carefully and cautiously when you're especially during work night out, okay? Because you don't know what information you're sharing. And don't think that that's just going to be a one-off thing. This can potentially be used against you in your work, in your career, okay? So don't overshare at work. These are your colleagues, these are your co-workers. You can go there to do a job, get paid, leave. Like someone do it. Not everyone like you like that. But just be very cautious. Oh, I'm so stressed. I've got financial problems going on. Oh, and just this, that, negative stuff. It used to be like people just give so much to everyone. Careful. When you say, oh, I give so much, that's maybe an opportunity for like, okay. But there's a vulnerability there
oh, they won't mind. They'll do the extra overtime. They'll do it because you know that that's what they're like, you know? They'll do it. Oh, you know, they're so stressed and this overwhelmed. Oh, okay, so clearly they can't handle their personal life, their finances. You don't even know how to deal with that. How are they going to do this job? They're clearly incompetent. They clearly don't have the skills to do this. Okay, so be careful because they're creating a story, a perception of you, and it may not be true. You may just have had a bad day. You just wanted to vent out. Workplace is not where you go to vent. Okay, do not vent at the workplace. In any time you feel stressed, call it in. Go for a walk after work. You vent. You just let it. Not to your co-workers, not to your managers. Even your, I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do it. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd just be very careful doing it. Just keep professional and keep it moving. Boundaries. Boundaries in your life, boundaries with your family, boundaries with your relationships, boundaries at work. There's different kinds of boundaries that you can create and how much information we can share within those boundaries and your comfortability within them. But each environment has a boundary. And again, it will protect your peace, you know? Lastly, I just want to say that the whole point of this video is like, talking too much isn't just about protecting your privacy. It's about protecting your boundaries. It's also about protecting your peace. It's also about protecting your perception and your respect that others will give you in these certain environments and how they treat you. And I think that's very important because when you have these boundaries, you talk less and stop oversharing your trauma, financial problems, stress, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, you know what it does? It means that you're not susceptible to sabotage. You are not easily accessible into vulnerabilities such as control, manipulation, and these other tactics that I'm not saying everyone will use, but I am saying that there are people out there that will do that. Even your close family and friends. Lovers, boyfriends, husbands, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So you need to start off with, so it's good to create those boundaries so you get used to understand that I don't need to share all this information with you right now. Let it be done. Then when it's done, proof is in the pudding. There you can see it's done. The done. You did that. You did that with your boundaries. You did that with your own validation. You did that with your own confidence. No one's coming in to ruin your confidence, to ruin your path, to steer you off the way you need to go. You know where you need to go. And usually our intuition is usually right. So stick with that. Because I used to be someone who used to talk too much. And I'm telling you, it was used against me. Not in a good way. And I've learned to talk less, to tell people less, and to just rely on my own self.
Sorry for it cutting out, and hopefully these videos are relatable to you. If they are, please subscribe, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, always protect your peace.